Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Wednesday here, of course, here on our 10th year of the station. Of course, let's go to of course, a guest that we've had on the show already, because last year, because we had the Williamstown Athletics Club on the show. And of course, this particular guest we had on the show was involved in that because, in a matter of months, she'll be heading across to the US as of tomorrow. And of course, her name is Alyssa. Of course, she joins us right now to tell us all about it. Thanks, Alyssa, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Will. It's a pleasure to be here.
No worries. Well, tell us, since we last had you on the show with the rest of the club, would have been about mid-year last year.
Yeah, around June.
What's been happening between last we had you on the show to also now you're leaving the country?
Yeah, so I'm actually heading off tomorrow. So kind of come really quick. It's amazing how the tables turn in a matter of 6 months. Like, it's crazy. So I got an offer from a couple of colleges earlier last year to go over there and compete on a part of the school. I could also, complete my uni degree there as well. Which I had started here. So, which was actually really good because uni I am going to, I'm able to transfer credits over, which is pretty good as well. So it's quite convenient. So I got a few offers. They were like, we would like to give you a full scholarship to come compete on our team. And I'm a long distance runner. Like my pet events would be 3 and 5K, if not even a 10K. So I guess they wanted me to join their distance team. And yeah, it was just a matter of choosing where I wanted to go exactly, the area, things like that. So the uni I'm going to is called Milligan University. It's in Tennessee. So it's like on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. So I'm in a pretty good spot, pretty central down south. They say that the weather's not crazy cold in the winter, which is pretty good. And I thought that would be ideal for training as well. And it does get warm in summer, but again, with the nature of sport and track and field, like it's a summer sport, so which is awesome. So I'll head over there and compete as a part of the college, and I get to wear the college uniform and the colors. They've got a sponsorship deal with Nike, which is pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy about that. And so I think the coach said my first race will most likely be on the 24th of January, and it's indoor season, so that'll be at the JDL Fast Track in North Carolina, which is like apparently one of the fastest indoor tracks in the US, which is pretty cool.
As you mentioned, you did get some offers around the college, as you mentioned. Why did you end up choosing this one? Obviously, my favorite state is Tennessee myself. So I know exactly what you're talking about when you mentioned Tennessee, state itself, and obviously North Carolina. Why did you end up choosing it?
Yeah, the thing was, so my coach here, Liz Matthews, so her son Luke has gone to the Olympics and has a lot of connections around the world and a lot of friends that live overseas. And one of his friends actually went to this school. And so this kind of influenced my decision because I wasn't 100% sure on what college I wanted to take, to go to, or like what I wanted to do. And it all depended on the racing and the schedules and being able to transfer my credits over and things like that, because I didn't really want to repeat anything with uni wise. So this girl that I spoke to, Hannah, she's friends of Luke. So, my coach was like, how about you just have a chat to her and get her insight to college, and she can talk about her experience, and then maybe it might give you, a better insight on what you actually want to do. So I spoke to her on the phone, and she's from the UK actually. So it was really good. Like, we got on really well and we could like connect. And she went to this school, and the head coach at the school is her actual coach, and she only had good things to say about it. She said she had an awesome experience, even though it isn't a really top ranked school, or very well-known school. She still had a great experience. She had great racing experience, great coaches. She felt like she was really looked after at the school. And she still works there a little bit as well. So she actually said, I'll put in a bit of a word for you and see if you like it. I'll talk to the coach and things like that. And I kind of made my decision from there. So knowing that she went there, she had a good experience, kind of made me feel a bit more comfortable about going there, because I didn't know anyone else that had gone to other schools that were offering me scholarships.
Even tomorrow. How has it been like the last couple of weeks heading up to this moment that you're going to be leaving the country tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a little crazy now. A bit overwhelming, that's for sure. Last year I was fine with it. I was like, yeah, it's ages away, it's fine, it's only next year. And then on New Year's Day, I just crashed and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I'm leaving this year. I can't believe this. It was just so stressful, so overwhelming. So the last 2 weeks, I've been gathering everything. I've been packing. I have to make sure I have my right documents. And right now with COVID as well, like I had to have a COVID test, have to have all the documents for that, the exemption to leave the country. And it was such a long process. And getting my visa as well was a long process that I was delayed by like 3 or 4 months. It was, yeah. So now, like a day before, I'm pretty happy where I'm at. I think I've got everything organized. So fingers crossed, no issues. I've had flight issues anyway, so I've had to change flights around now today, which has been a little stressful, but fingers crossed nothing else happens.
Now, you mentioned that you got the offer early last year, which I must say you kept a very good secret from us because we actually had you on the show mid last month, so mid last year. I guess how long did you keep this a secret for from anyone?
Well, I got my first offer from a school in about January, February last year, and I wasn't entirely sure what was happening with that because they required me to do SATs, and I didn't really want to do SATs considering I had finished year 12 2 years ago and had already been a year and a half, just over a year in my uni degree. So I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel about that. So I started studying for them, and then obviously COVID hit and SATs kept getting cancelled. So it just made it so difficult to try and get credits over with my uni stuff without having that SAT mark behind me. So, like, how can I say? So that was my offer. I reckon it would have been around February. I had another offer from a couple of schools in April, May-ish. And I started speaking to Milligan in about May last year. And then I fully committed in July. Like I signed the contract and it was released on social media and things like that. So that's when I started telling people because I didn't want to keep my hopes up. So I thought I'd keep it to myself for a bit and only like my family knew or like my really, really close friends. No one else really knew. So, but I think as of July, August, it was pretty much out in the open and on Facebook. So, yeah.
I'm sure this will be your first time you've gone to actually see the college at all.
Yeah. So heaps of people ask me, they're like, so did you get to see the colleges before you go, like, before you're able to go? And I was like, no, like, unfortunately with COVID, I spoke to the first school that offered me something actually said like, you're more than welcome to come and visit the college and have a look at it and see if you like it and if it suits you. But a month later we hit COVID. So that didn't work out. So this will be my first time to the US as well, and racing internationally as well. So it's going to be a pretty cool experience. So I'm looking forward to going to Tennessee as well. And like I had a look at the weather and tomorrow is 11 degrees Celsius. So I was like, okay, that's like Melbourne winter. Can't complain. So I'm packing as if I'm pretty much going to be here. So yeah.
Now, have you managed to make some friends over there during virtually?
Yeah, so even though it's been hard over Zoom and other kind of things of social media, everyone's been so nice and welcoming. I get messages quite often, which I love. When people first found out I was moving to school, obviously I was getting friend requests and follow requests everywhere, which is lovely. And I was also getting heaps of text messages, and which is great. And I kind of already feel welcomed. And then a lot of people wanted to start Zooms as well, like so. I'd meet up with them, I don't know, 8 a.m. or something just to chat and get to know them. And everyone seems lovely, which is awesome. So I've got a bit of a group. Like last week, a lot of the track members from the track team were messaging me like, when are you coming over? Like, we're going to throw you a welcome party. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm so excited to meet everyone and just expand my network and connections and friends as well. And it'd be pretty cool to have friends that live on the other side of the world. So, and there's a lot of other international students as well. So in our track team, there's a couple from the UK, and then I know there's one from Serbia as well, which is pretty cool.
I'm sure now you're counting all those days. Now I'm sure we're now into the hours that time that you're leaving Melbourne. I guess you're going to miss home?
I will miss home, definitely. I'm going to definitely miss summer. I'll miss my friends and family and my training squad here in Melbourne, which I'll be back. Like that's what I say. Like, I hope to be back for the big break in end of May. So I got May to August off. So I really hope to be back by then, and I can train with my squad here and be with my family and friends. And yeah, it was funny actually on Monday when I had to go get a COVID test to prove at the airport that I'm negative. It was within 72 hours, and they actually asked me, they're like, are you within 72 hours of your flight? And I was like, yep, I am. Like, it just hit me. I was like, shit, I'm leaving really soon.
How did your local club, the Williamstown Athletic Club, take that news?
They took it on really well. I think they expected as well. Like some of my training partners I spoke to about it, Paul included, like we train quite a bit and I see quite a bit of him. So he knew that I was looking into it, and he kind of did a few references. Like I got reference letters from some people at the club as well, which was awesome. So everyone's been pretty happy for me, which has been awesome. So they know I'll be back soon racing for them as well. So it's an experience, and I can't wait to train and race in the US as well for a different team environment.
How was the final training session?
That was tough actually. So my whole squad has been up at Falls Creek doing high altitude training for the last 2 weeks. So I got back from there on Friday last week. So I said my goodbyes while I was up there. So, and I saw a couple of people earlier this week as well, and on the weekend to meet up for like around long runs and stuff. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad actually. But saying goodbye to the whole squad at Falls Creek was probably the hardest moment so far.
I know I was Paul's amazing coach there at Williamstown. Have you met your new coach, and what's the similarities have you found between your new coach and obviously Paul?
Just I've only spoken to them over the phone, but I find with the programs they're very, very similar. So here, what I've been doing for ages, we've been doing it's kind of it's American program. Like it's a program that they do in college. So it's 2 sessions a week, and then the rest of the runs are all jogs, and cross training, of course. And I feel like it really helps. And the dynamic of the sessions and the structure is very, very similar, I find, which is pretty good as well. So it's not like it's going to be a big change to me or my body. Like I have had a good introduction to that program for the last year and a half. So.
Now you mentioned that your first competition is in just under 2 weeks time. Now I have to ask, you don't have to answer it. How's preparations like to that?
I haven't really thought of it, to be honest, which I think is good that I'm going in with a fresh mind as well and a fresh body, like that I'm not putting myself under pressure or any stress on my body. So I find when I do put stress and pressure on my body, I tend to race not as good as what I'd hoped. So I think it'll be okay going into it. Like, I don't know what the coach actually wants me to do just as yet. I think that's a conversation for when I land there and when I meet up with them on Friday. But I'm actually excited just to get an indoor race in, because obviously we don't have indoors here and it's not really well known. So even for my first race, just to see what it's all about would be pretty cool. And even if they turn around and say, we don't know if you're ready to race yet, like, I'm just happy just to go and just to see what it's about. And then I know the next one I can do it. Like, there'll be a race every week. So I'll just do it the following week if it doesn't work out. So yeah, I just want to see what it's all about.
Now you've had a chance to reflect on what you've already achieved. Now you're going to go over to college. What does the sport of athletics mean to you?
It means a lot. It does. It's here in Melbourne as well, in Victoria in general, we have a really good, it's like a community, a running community. It's like it's an extended family. Like, everyone knows everyone, which is pretty cool as well. And it's full of support, and it means a lot to me. Like, actually leaving the Victorian running kind of association or community is actually heartbreaking and quite sad, especially with my group and the club at Williamstown and the training group, TMR. Like, it's such a family vibe. The groups mean so much to me. So it's kind of heartbreaking that I'm leaving. But they'll always be there. And as my coaches always say to me, like, we're always here when you're here, kind of thing. So yeah.
Now, do you have any future ambitions now post-college? Now I can actually say that.
Post-college, well, I'd love to go to the Olympics one day, but I think that's a little far advanced. For right now, for ambitions, could I say in college maybe?
Yeah.
I'd love to get to nationals. That would be a pretty cool achievement, and to get a PB. Obviously an outdoor, because I'll have an indoor PB as well, but that'll be a bit different as well. So just maybe I'll just get a PB, get to nationals, and race well, and I'll be happy. So, and then future wise, I'd love to land as some kind of sponsorship, or and just compete. Yeah.
Well, you must tell us, what's your personal best times?
So my personal best time for a 5K is 17:54, and my PB for a 3K is 10:11, and my PB for 1500 is 4:42.
Now, what would be your advice to our listeners out there that should get involved in athletics, especially down there at Williamstown, which is obviously by the beach? Well, it's sort of by the beach.
Yeah, it is kind of by the beach. What's the message? I could say that I reckon it's awesome, and the club at Williamstown's great. Like, everyone's so welcoming, and there's always a good vibe, and there's always other social events. It's not just about running, it's about your well-being and your mental health and you as a person, and social aspects as well. Like, we have, the Christmas gift, for example, and like barbecue nights. We used to have pie nights pre-COVID, things like that. That's what the club's all about. The club is all about being social and being well known in the community and supporting one another, and of course the locals. Like, it's all about being local and being supported together.
Now, you might as well tell us as well, similar question, how people should follow you and your amazing teammates over in the States throughout the next 4 to 5 months.
How they should follow me? Social media would be the best bet, I think. Otherwise, so my Instagram, Facebook, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm sure there'll be websites as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is a website that has every single college race, every single person's time, every single school, conference, things like that. And I'm sure there's a live stream link for videos as well to watch, especially during indoor season. I know it can get really popular. People love watching it. So yeah, so that would be probably the best way to kind of look at my journey.
Now, let's finish on a couple lighthearted questions as well. Obviously, you go from Australia that has barely any cases at all locally to the US, where it's enormously high.
Yes.
Have you I guess, have a strategy to try to avoid not getting tested positive?
Yeah, so at the school they're very strict with their athletes, and they're like, please don't go out here, don't go out there, because they pretty much know where the hot spots are, especially when they're from there. So they say, please avoid this place, please avoid that place, or this area, or this person. And they're very like, please don't go out at this time at this place because there has been exposure to COVID. I know, I think it was around the time of Halloween when they were doing their cross country season. They were like, please do not go to this party. Please do not go to this cafe. Like, you need to make sure that you are showering twice a day, you're using sanitizer, wearing your mask properly, like things like that. And you're always social distancing and not gathering with lots of people in small confined places. Things like that. They were so strict. So my plan would probably be to basically always have sanitizer on handy. Always wear my mask. Pretty much, I shower twice a day anyway. So just keeping hygienic and clean, basically, especially pre and post training, things like that. Always social distancing, not gathering with people. That's probably my main way of trying to prevent from testing positive. But where I am actually in Tennessee is actually a hotspot for COVID. So that's going to be very interesting on what happens. Send me maps of like where COVID is and hotspots. And it's funny because Tennessee is one huge epicenter and it is black when everything is like red. So hopefully it's not as bad as what they say, but who knows?
Now, obviously, you've had a chance to catch up with your teammates that you're going to meet in person when you get there.
Yeah.
For what you've already had a chance to meet over virtually, who's the
Yeah.
comedian in the squad?
I've only met the girls, so it was more just general chit chat. So I don't actually know who the comedian is, but I am in their group chat and I do see some funny, stupid comments happen. They do make me laugh. And the best is when they ask questions about Australians. That always gets me, but it's pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm not too sure exactly who I'd call a comedian because a lot of them are funny. Like, majority of them are funny. So they've all said something funny at some point. So I say pretty much everyone.
Now, are any of them good singers and dancers, or they're into their TikToks?
Oh, well, I was into TikTok myself. So if they are, well, I know all the dances, so it's going to be funny. I don't know. I actually don't. But I'm sure it's a hit here, so I'm sure it's going to be even bigger over there. So yeah, that'll actually be good. It's like everywhere you go, you hear a TikTok song anyway. So you really do.
Now, have any of your teammates there tried to put the Australian accent already? And how does that go?
No, not to me. They haven't. I have had messages where people say "crikey," and I'm like, okay. I have received one of those. I've had a few people ask me, can you say something Australian? So I'd say something like Chuck a Yui at the servo and we'll stop off at the bottle. No one seems to know what that means. Everyone says, oh, do you put shrimp on the barbie? No, we don't. Shrimp. We don't even call it a shrimp. So no, I don't push it on the barbie. They ask some really tough questions about animals as well. Like, do you have a pet kangaroo, pet koala?
You just about to answer that question, yeah.
I don't even see them. And the funny thing is, I know a lot of people who have been to America or been to school in America, and they say you just play along with it, and you just say, yeah, you just agree with them, and they actually believe it. It's quite funny.
But you just asked about the kangaroo part, if we have kangaroos as pets. So
do you ride a kangaroo to school? There's also another one. Do you have dangerous animals in your area? Was one I got as well. And they were fascinated by the name Uluru. So you want to know all about that? Yeah.
Oh, well, Lisa, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show.
No problem. This was an absolute
Uh,
pleasure.
Obviously, we are definitely going to miss you here in
Yeah.
Melbourne. Obviously, we want to send our best wishes to you and your especially safe travels over to the US and especially to my favorite state there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You'll definitely love it. Been there myself in past experiences and can't wait to hopefully have you back in Melbourne and hopefully get to do another interview this time, hopefully in person.
Sounds
When
great.
you
I'd
come
love
back.
to. Yeah, it sounds great. We can talk all about my experience and my first semester there, and yeah, it'd be pretty awesome. So we'll definitely do that at a later stage. No worries. Thank you for having me.
No worries, and that's Alyssa there, joins from the Williamstown Athletic Club. Of course, she won't be that club for a couple of months, of course, because she's over there over in the US as of tomorrow. Of course, we'll keep our listeners and viewers up to date on how she was traveling over there in the States. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.